Oh, my loves, this is going to be a message for the divine feminines. As soon as I opened up, a whole bunch started coming in. But the first thing was divine feminine. Many seeds that were planted and went dormant long ago are beginning to reawaken. And again, this feels like multiple different seeds for multiple different things. I do also sense the connection with the divine masculine is a part of this, and it's really starting to brew. I'm starting to have these realizations that when we did the gifts of the masculine session last week, or, it actually started to thaw this out. And that was connected to where some of the energy had gotten again frozen or went dormant. It obviously was meant to at that time, but now there's gifts within the connection space, the shared space, or from the past, seeds that were activated and awakened and then went dormant. What's coming to me as I say that is I'm seeing where the feminine and masculine actually activated seeds in one another. And I just heard seeds of remembrance that just came through. So those got activated during soul merge, during love bubble phase. And then obviously you go through your separate processes. But something about this time and where many divine feminines are preparing for and moving into the new phase, as masculines are as well. But this message is geared towards the feminine perspective at this time. And where the seeds again are like reawakening and starting to come out of dormancy and like fattening up for the spring and preparing to grow forward. And um again, it feels like there's a lot of energy connected to things that were activated within the feminine from the masculine. um, my hands are getting really warm as I'm speaking about this. So it's interesting because it's been, obviously a quite intense winter where I've been. In the last few days, we've went up into the 70s. So most of the snow melt, the birds are chirping, the windows are open. I think we have one more day of this, then we're going back down into the 30s. But it's really been about taking time to land in the new energy. And there's a lot that has happened over this past 6 months since the fall, since September. And I just want to get some messages. I feel like there's a few messages that want to come through for the feminines, and then I can sense like at the core of it, there's something connected to the masculine. But they just showed me there's three messages that want to come through, and then we're going to close it out with the masculine. And if it's aligned, I will do a part two, an extended version. Let's just see where this takes us. Okay, what is opening up with the seeds? I'm just going to pull the three and see what we get. Wow. Okay. Wow. This is definitely for the feminines. So we have the Justice card. And this is immediately speaking to me, of course, about the temperance, the balance, the harmonization, but also about whatever was planted way back when it was planted. It's now ready to open up and grow for you. And it's like what's coming to me is actually where you have felt things were out of balance, whether it was with the masculine, with finances, with work, with relationships. My sense is that through this process, there's been quite a bit of rebalancing happening because many of the feminines held a lot of emotional and energetic space for the collective, not just the masculine, but the collective. And oftentimes, this energy that the feminines were pouring into the world, into the collective, were not respected or reciprocated in the way that was necessary for the feminines to be able to keep providing that essence in the way that they were doing, because it was actually draining and depleting the feminines when there wasn't the respect and reciprocity, the acknowledgement of these gifts. And this is what a lot of the feminines have been recalibrating in hermit mode, right? Like healing and setting boundaries, setting standards, rebalancing into that embodiment. And this is why the time of focusing on yourself was so incredibly important, so that it could reset your system to no longer overgive where it wasn't aligned. And then it helps to bring forth the aligned connections, reciprocity, and camaraderie. And the again, the sacred partnership, divine union, divine sacred friendships and connections where you're in unity consciousness and interdependent energies with one another. And so I'm also getting, okay, I it was coming in when all those messages were coming in, that you may want to get yourself a notebook and sort of just jot down some things that you would like to see coming into balance for yourself. Okay. And what's coming to me is not to focus on you need something from specific from a specific person, but asking for what is aligned for you in order to create the life that you're wanting, the way that you want to feel, the way that you deserve to feel, the way you've been providing for yourself. Okay. And this is leading to the unfurling, the embodiment of the Empress energies on the planet. This is one of the massive seeds that has been growing. Many of the feminines are holding, wow, the seeds of the new earth being birthed. So, what I just saw was part of the seeds that were planted from the masculine into the feminine, were seeds, codes, and important information connected to the building and the expanse of the new earth energies, of the higher dimensional energies in physical form, which is exactly why so many of the divine feminines have been embodying and transforming. And respecting their own energy is so important, because think of it, your energy, your essence, your creation space, your womb space has been holding these dormant seeds, these dormant codes. And now that you're caring for yourself and you're safe and you're providing for yourself, or as you do, these seeds are safe to start to blossom. Okay. So this is bringing me to some of the feminines. Maybe you've already been feeling those spiritual birthing energies. Okay, this actually came through quite strong for me myself yesterday, and it really blossomed with the earth thawing and actually having space to go through those spiritual birthing processes. And so some of you, maybe as the season is coming to an end, you've been feeling heavy or low-key, exhausted, maybe even like puffy or bloated, things of that nature. And yes, some of it could just be the end of the season, but some of it may be because you have been ripening the seeds for the new earth within your physical vessel. Okay, obviously, some of you may actually be pregnant with literal human children, but also it feels like for many of you here, this is going to be about planting the seeds of the new earth in a new way. So, what I sense is that many of us have been doing this through our energy, through our embodiment anyway, but these are the dormant seeds that were planted via the connection and the co-creation of the masculine and feminines together. And this is the beauty of it, is regardless of the status of your connection at this time in the physical world, what you needed was already provided to you from the divine masculine. And this is about you stepping into your Empress energies and in that process to allow these to activate. Okay. And as this acknowledgement, what's coming to me is as this acknowledgement is occurring, as this is resonating for those of you it's resonating with, just your attention and focus and love is assisting in the activation in these energies of these seeds. And like I said, loves, it's always been within you. So this is going back to when I spoke the other day around how your internal union actually is sacred union. As you embody it, you're embodying the codes of sacred union within yourself. And this is an important part, right? Because if you've actually been working your initiation, if you have been allowing yourself to, of course, process the shadows that the masculine mirrored and reflected to you, but part of unraveling those shadows is also your capacity and your willingness to receive the gifts that the masculine also provided for you. And part of those gifts are that activation of the sacred union energies within you. So there's this crossover, this bridging that is occurring between the internal union energies and the sacred union energies. And again, this can be happening in the energies, even if you are not in contact or connection with the masculine in the physical world. Again, if the masculine is not showing up at this time, it does not mean that he has gone, or she, however they identify, has forgone the mission. It means there are still gifts within you that are ready to bloom and blossom that the masculine already provided for you. And it's up to you to birth those, unpack them, and then embody them into your life. Okay. What I also sense is through this process is where the masculine is working on their end. And I do sense, as I feel this in the energy, is this pathway is one of the big pathways that the masculine and feminine will actually sync back up in the physical. Because I'm also remembering the masculine is the one who holds the codes for what physical world, material world, building, right? Yes, we have all of those energies within us, but when you were activated by one another, it was for specific reasons. And this activation provided you with the codes and the information that was necessary for this time. Okay, my loves? So when you can take a step back, take a deep breath, and yes, the masculine provided you with shadow reflections, but he or she, the masculine, also provided you with many gifts. And as you unravel the protective mechanisms that we've been working on for the last couple months, and you accept the masculine, and you embrace the inner masculine, and you embrace the outer masculine, and you accept these energies. And for any of you who are resonating with this, the last 5, 6, 7 recorded sessions that I have been doing were all connected specifically to these topics, connected with acceptance of the masculine, acceptance of the gifts, acceptance of your internal energies, the unraveling and dissolving of the protective mechanisms that were once needed, but now might be holding you back from actually receiving the gifts. Okay, my loves. So I will let you connect with that however you choose. If you want to check out those sessions, if you just want to meditate on your own, if you would like to work with me one on one, everything will be down in the pinned comment. But absolutely, this is about your experience in the physical world, embodying your part of this process, and how I've been speaking about the fact that, yes, we've worked the shadows. Yes, there may be some more that come up, but now it's time to start building and growing and having fun and joy. And my loves, those unraveling of the defense mechanisms and protective mechanisms that you have outgrown are a key piece to you actually receiving, embodying, and birthing what you have been asking for. Okay. I'm going to pull one from the masculine, and then I'm going to go deeper into these messages, and where these energies are headed as this embodiment unfolds. So I will post that second video in the pinned comment once it is up, but it'll also be over in the post tab. You can find it on Patreon or YouTube memberships. Patreon, it's available for members and also as an individual video. Again, those recorded sessions are over on my web store and as well as on Patreon. Okay, so what we have from the masculine: eyes of the eagle rise above the fray, stranger and curiosity. So the masculines both want you to expand your perspective and also open up to seeing a new perspective with curious eyes. And this is also piggybacking on saying that the same way the feminines are dropping in to the seeds that the masculine provided and focusing on how to build, to birth and build the new energies. The masculines are rising above, looking at the broader perspectives. What I feel within this is they are dissolving their protective mechanisms that were supporting them in avoiding looking at the bigger patterns, the bigger energies, and the bigger purpose for this connection is now dissolving. They are starting to see clearly. This card always brings me to the energy of Horus and that very fine-tuned, expanding third eye energy. And the masculines are opening up in a curious state. They're understanding that it may have made them feel strange or awkward, or it may feel very new to them. But I also feel that as the membrane of this, as this seed that the feminines planted within the masculine is awakening and no longer dormant, that strange feeling is going to dissolve into curiosity, and that curiosity is going to lead to a very new perspective for the masculines. So we're going to dive into these messages for the masculines and check in with where things are headed for the feminine and masculine collectives together in this next phase of unpacking and birthing the dormant seeds of sacred union that are now ready to be birthed in the physical world. All right, my loves, let me know how you're feeling. Let me know what you're thinking. And of course, I will see you soon. Sending you so much love. Take care. Peace.